Seguimos en el Mobile World Congress 2013, cuarto día del congreso, y nos visita Arun de la empresa Ericsson, que nos va a estar contando algunas de las novedades, porque no sé si podremos meter en el vídeo de 10 minutos, que más o menos de las entrevistas, todo lo que Ericsson ha estado presentando en este congreso. Así que vamos a intentar hacer el resumen más rápido posible para entenderlo mejor. Así que yo ya le doy paso a Arun. Arun, welcome to telesemana.com.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Thank you for being here. You have a big booth, you have a lot of things, you have a big show on your own, so you could almost have your own show here at the show.
This is an important event for us. This is one of our biggest events globally. We have customers from all over the world coming, and as you know, we operate in 180 different countries, and we've been around for 137 years, so there's a lot of legacy and history that we carry. So what we have built is a complete Ericsson experience inside of Hall 2, and over the last 2 to 3 years, we've been working on a theme called the Network Society. A network society in which anything that can benefit from a connection will get connected. And what we have started to engage now is in constructive projects in bringing the network society to life. And that becomes the theme for us this year, bringing the network society to life. And our entire experience is then inspired by cities, because as you know, urbanization is rapidly increasing. Our prediction is that by the year 2017, 60% of the world's traffic is going to come from just 30% of the world's population, situated in just 1% of the world's geography. And those are cities, those are urban areas. So we have gotten that inspiration from cities to create the Ericsson City.
Okay, to create the Ericsson City or the Ericsson experience, what sort of products have you been showcasing?
Yeah, what we have done is inside our Ericsson City, we are focused in on customer themes rather than our products. We start the conversations with themes that are very important for our customers. So one thing is, of course, what is happening in the network society and what could be happening in the future. That is one area of focus. Besides that, when you bring that business back to today's business, what becomes important for them are 5 things. The first one is network performance. The second one is customer experience management. The third one is operational excellence. The fourth one is the convergence of telecom and IT. And lastly, most important, is how to grow their business, growth opportunities. So we have fashioned everything that we do around these 5 areas that are of most importance to our customers.
Okay, let me just address some of them, and you tell me how you've been presenting those here. One of the things that many people talk about here at the show, and we're very interested, I'm sure you are, is SDNs. I don't know what you can tell us about SDN.
Absolutely. So in the area of telecom and IT convergence, we have now positioned what we call as the Ericsson Cloud System. The Ericsson Cloud System enables what we call as the service provider SDN. So the service provider SDN builds on the fundamental concept of SDN, which is the separation of traffic control and the payload plane. But we take it one step beyond the classic SDN definition. The classic SDN definition is meant for data centers. What we are able to do is to take it all the way into the telecom operator's network. So we call it service provider SDN. And service provider SDN builds on the concept of network-enabled cloud that we launched at the same event last year, where we say that every node in the network can be an enabler of the cloud, can be a participant in the cloud delivery system, bringing the consumer very close to the cloud experience. So what we have done this year is launched the Ericsson Cloud System. The Ericsson Cloud System is a combination of elastic computing, elastic storage, and elastic networking. So you get end-to-end elasticity across storage, compute, and network. And that is the unique feature. We are able to manage this using the Ericsson Cloud Manager, and the Ericsson Cloud System is the big launch that we have for SDN and cloud.
Okay. Second thing that I think is important, and I'm sure you also have something on your booth because you're touching on with everything, would be small cells and self-organizing networks.
Absolutely. As you know, we are a big player in the micro networks, and we have very good insight into how the network coverage actually behaves. When you start using it for more than voice, we call this as app coverage, because different applications require different kind of coverage and latency properties. And as a result, we have evolved our small cell strategy out of that. And what we believe is that Wi-Fi, small cells, have to work in coordination with micro cells. And we have actually done a fairly extensive analysis and study which says that if you do these coordinated cells, you can get up to 100% increase in capacity and performance. And that is what we show. We have a comprehensive portfolio of small cells coupled with backhaul and associated self-organizing network software that works in conjunction with the micro network.
Okay. going to the run now, LTE Advanced.
You know, LTE Advanced is a favorite topic of ours. We have been working with LTE, as you know, for a long time. There are some interesting concepts with LTE, which is both the use of TDD and FDD in complementary fashion, and that leads us to some interesting concepts such as spectrum aggregation, which is one of the most important things in LTE. And so we are working on LTE Advanced as much as everybody else, probably even more, and we are giving it new meaning by using it in a converged fashion with both TDD and FDD, as we have done in the case of China Mobile Hong Kong, for example, where we have launched the world's first converged TD and FD LTE network.
Okay, and going to the customer experience scenario, I mean, which probably will be our last topic of the interview, tell us what you are showing specifically. How can the operators, what products should they use to make sure they use it? Well, some of the products we have discussed, because self-organizing networks and these things should make this network better. But
yeah, but customer experience starts when the customer is interested to look for something that you might have. That is when the customer experience starts. So it starts from the time either they come to the web or they come into a store to find out what you have. And you have to capture that experience from there, convert them into a customer, and while they're there with you as a customer, deliver great experience on the network. So we have tools, software, and processes that cover this entire space, from service discovery, service provisioning, charging, billing, network performance, and service assurance. And what we have now done is assembled a suite of software that covers this whole space. And we have also packaged this into a service. For example, where we have managed services customers, we are now able to extend the KPI to be as close as possible to the end user, to the consumer, where we call this experience-centric managed services. So we've got software and services in the customer experience domain.
Okay, and final question, but this is more of a high-level thought from you, would be on the OTT phenomenon, the over-the-top players, and all the things that you are describing. Obviously, it's to make the network or the operators be more participant in the broadband revolution. Can the operators fight the OTTs if they prepare their networks in a way that they become smarter?
Well, let's get one thing clear. Broadband exists because operators exist. Without operators, there is no broadband, there is no cloud, there is no OTT. What we have devised is, for example, a concept called smart mobile broadband. In smart mobile broadband, you have the capacity to package all kinds of network assets and capabilities and expose it on the northbound side so that OTTs can come and connect and benefit. And that provides both a northbound revenue stream and a great consumer experience. That is one of the things that we're doing in terms of working with OTT.
So you're saying that operators and OTTs can actually work in conjunction?
Absolutely.
Operators can get some revenue without having actually to sit down and negotiate?
Absolutely. Telecom, OTT, and the cloud, so far they're all dependent, they're all kind of blind to each other. I think the way everybody is going to grow up is by learning and understanding that they're all interdependent.
Okay. Well, Aaron, thank you so much for visiting us. I told you we would not be able to cover everything you're showing, but hopefully people will visit your website and have a look at.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.